Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live preview show for Monday. This is episode 13 of our season two, and it is May 1st, 2023. At this time, let's say hello to my fabulous co-host over here, Santa Randall Ticker Lee.
Hey everybody, great to see you. Good to see you, Bob. Great to see you. Welcome to Monday. Can you believe it's May 1st already? May 1st.
Yes, I know. Where has this year went? I mean, it's crazy how fast time is flying by here. But
That's
it's been a busy year for you. You've been out entertaining a lot. You had a good event this weekend that you and I were just chatting about, which I thought was super cool. As you mentioned, kind of a Santa reunion at the ball park for the kickoff of the USFL. Pretty neat, and I'll let Randy tell you more about that if he wishes. But good time for Randy this weekend. We spent the weekend just doing scripts and things that needed to be done and trying to get caught up on anytime that you leave and go on a trip anywhere, it doesn't matter where you go, and you're gone for 2 or 3 days. Well, that puts you a week and a half behind. And that's pretty much what Gatlinburg did. I've been trying to catch up from Gatlinburg. How's the weather where you're at today, Randy?
it's definitely not May 1st here in Michigan. I tell you that we had flurries this morning and into 30s. Yeah, so
Wow.
it definitely isn't May 1st. It's they say maybe by the end of the week we'll get back into the 60s. So it's really kind of a crummy start to May. It's definitely not April showers bring May flowers. It's bringing May snowfall. Not nothing sticking though, of course.
Well, for us last week, we had lots of rain here, several days of rain, thunderstorms, winds, hail and portions of the North Texas area. And we got, I don't know, 7.5 inches of rain over the course of 2 or 3 days. It was crazy. Streets were flooded. It was, typical May here, end of April, 1st of May for us. Yesterday's temperature, we were in mid 80s, light breeze, sunshine. Today it's a few degrees cooler. I think we're expected to be in the upper 70s. So not bad, though. Not bad for May 1st. We'll take it.
I realized I was reading a quick little Ben thing there, and he made me think about something like May. Well, it may be spring, it may be summer, it may still be winter. I guess that's why we should call it May. I think that's probably the best way of putting it.
Good point, Ben. Well, hey, let's say hello to everyone that's joining in with us today. Looks like we've got a good group already. Ray Bradshaw, Charlie Johnson, Ben Bellhorn, Mr. Rex Ray, Santa Tom from up in Vancouver, Washington. Sean Marshall White's with us again today. Good to see you. Jackie Chamberlain is with us. Santa Mark. Gosh, am I missing anybody? I think we got
Gary,
Nathan,
Charlie, AJ, everybody. Good to see
Gary
everybody.
Linder, Erica Moesha. Yeah, great crowd. Hey, and that kind of brings me to something. Last week was one of our better viewed shows live, and it kind of looks like we're shaping up to do the same today. Uh, Fantastic. We just want everyone to know that we definitely appreciate you coming in and joining in. And we couldn't do this without you. I say that a lot, and I just hope that you see value in what we're doing. And on that note, how about that something burger, Randy? You ready?
I am hungry.
Let's do it. All right, Randall's got a good one for us today, and I'm going to turn it over to him and let him just get started.
All right, guys. Like I said, Bob said it really is. You guys help really get involved so great. We really, really appreciate it because you guys are really helping make the show. Hey, Adam. Adam's here too. How are you? The question is, how do you handle arguing, pushing, even sometimes hitting children hitting each other in line, like they're in front of you or Mrs. Claus? How do you guys handle that? What do you say? And what do you physically do? How do you handle if you get children arguing, yelling, pushing, hitting right in front of you and Mrs. Claus in line? What do you say or what do you do?
That's a great question, Randy. And of course, over the course of 6.5, 7.5 weeks at the mall, I see quite a bit of that. It's amazing how many children get unruly in front of Santa. For me, all I have to do is kind of turn my head a little bit, give them that look, and even sometimes just put my finger up gently like this, and well, they're right back in line. But there's lots of ways to handle this. Let's see what our audience has to say.
It's
Excited to.
it is surprising that how many will still get, or I guess a little bit arguing doesn't bother me as much, or them getting a little loud. It would bother me when I see any type of hitting or pushing. Those somehow I don't. I have a hard time because it just gets to me real quick. I mean, bothers me. I have a hard time responding to that. So I'm really looking forward to some really great answers about how because again, every venue is this different. A house is really weird at a house when you're at somebody's living room and that happens, or if you're at a mall, or if you're at a box store, or if you're wherever you're at, or at a corporate event. It all has to be handled a little differently. But I guess that pushing and shoving and hitting, I guess that's what gets me. It kind of throws me off, and it has for years. So I'm really curious about some great answers today. And again, thank you guys for chiming in. And Ben got to the man. Ben, are you sure you drive a thing and you're not a you don't work on the computer all the time? Man, you got some fast fingers there, Ben. I give them a look. It's like your wife gives you that look, right, Ben? And that hair in the back of your head goes up, neck goes up. And I say out loud, oops, sorry, I'm going to do this. It'd be a lot easier to get the glasses closer. To no one in particular, basically just letting the crowd know, I guess I need to make some changes on the list. Very good idea. Just loud. I need to make some changes on the list. See what's going on, and shake my head, as Mom has done. Very good. So they hear that a little bit sternly. I think is the way Ben was saying too, but not saying you. Hi, Gimme. See you around
To
there.
anyone, not to anyone in particular.
Right.
Santa Tom's got a great comical answer: handcuffs and a holding cell.
I think that's for us after the end of the season. Sometimes that's for us. But a
Santa
holding
Mark
cell would
says,
be good.
talk to them. Yeah, there's ways to approach it, and you can talk nice to the children and let them know that that's not acceptable behavior, and it's not really our place to parent the
Right.
children. That should be left up to the parents. But if and when they are in public, and I have seen in years past, I'm talking about a few years back, I had a couple of incidents where they're just jumping all over the set, crawling all over the chair, over the back of the chair, messing with everything they can get their hands on. And sometimes you just have to tell them, hey, 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 you need to settle down. This is not a jungle gym, or something of that nature.
Because there's a lot of times like the box stores and stuff. They have all the decorations. Let's have the moving elves or whatever, and they want to touch them and pull, and you have to. It's really not our job to tell them not to,
No,
but sometimes you have to. So I see
and
Rex has got one here also. Um, I
and
clear
there,
my
and there
throat
are
loudly.
managers on set, that should step up and take care of that if they're present. But they're not always watching. They may be tied up in conversation with a potential customer coming here or whatever. But yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
always usually when you do a home visit, there's usually that one child that wants to like be the center of attention.
Hmm.
So they get a little overruly or loud or like want to be first and all that. And it's so just kind of interesting how we all have to deal with that on a constant on a basis like that. I'm just looking to see some great answers we're getting. Rex, here we go. Clear my throat loudly. um, and picked up a Naughty and Nice book, and it says, which I am besides, which he has besides the chair all the time. I open it up and act like I'm writing something down. Oh, changing the list. Very good. Good,
Yeah, very
Rex.
good answer. While we're at it, real quick, we've had a few more join us.
Oh,
Hi, Diane from St. Louis. Good to see you again today, dear. Looks like Kimmy Claus has joined us. Hello, Kimmy. Good. Wow, what a greeting. Hello, my beautiful friends. So glad to see you talking to me, Randy and Angela. Fantastic. Charlie likes Ben's answer. I would do the same. Bart
um,
says it's never happened to him, so he can't contribute there.
wow. It will. I'm sure it will. It's
Not long enough. It certainly
yeah.
will, for sure.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Ray said your eyes can only be so many plays at one time. Like the managers, like Bob said, the manager
yes,
sometimes got to do it, but they might be off doing something else, and you just can't let that unruliness happen because you don't want anybody to get hurt on the set, especially.
that's
So
the
that's
main
where
thing
it's
right there. That's the
that's
main
where it's.
thing. Not getting hurt.
Here's Sean has got if they If they are waiting in line, I walk. That's what's great about having a Mrs. Claus. Oh gosh, yes. If they're waiting in line, I walk up to them and I usually stop as soon as I approach. They usually stop, like she says. I start a conversation with them, and she said to help diffuse the whatever's going on before they get to
Well,
Santa. See, that's what Sean. Gosh,
that's
we we all need a Mrs. Claus to help diffuse those kind of things, and because for us to get out of the chair to do that kind of stuff, we can't, and it's great to have a Mrs. Claus that can do that stuff.
yeah. And here's another one, Jackie. She says, "I say, okay, who wants to know who's on the nice list?" And that gets their attention
Very good,
really quick.
very
Not
good,
sure
very good.
who is the Facebook user here. Okay, very good. Uh, Parker's in with us. Tony is in with us today. Hi, Tony. Good to see you guys. Glad y'all could make it in.
Great to see everybody. And great answers. I mean, there's and every, I'm sure every situation's a little different. Also,
Mhm.
is what I'm kind of throwing out. It's just kind of like a broad overview about what can happen. So we all have to probably at the moment come up with an
Yeah.
what to do. Really do. So good. Very
Hi,
good.
Carl White. Good to see you today, my friend. Yeah, and again, it's really not Santa's responsibility. We're supposed to sit back, be quiet, be neutral, do our part as entertainers and as Santa. But there comes a time if it gets out of hand, there's a right way and a wrong way to handle everything. You just want to make sure that you handle it in the right way. Be kind, be gentle, show love, but get your point across.
Gary,
Gary has good Gary. Yeah, it just takes a stern look and a shake of no with my head. Absolutely. All
yeah.
right, guys. Great
Thank
answers
you.
there. Gosh, I love these segments. I enjoy and look forward to these each week. And I'm glad we start the show off this way because it really gets us going. All right, let's move along to the second question. How many of you doing corporate events such as Christmas parties, tree lighting, or even home visits rehearse your grand entrance and exits, or do you do them from the cuff? Share in a few words your best program and rehearsal techniques. See how everyone else does that. I know many of us have in our earliest years of performing. You get in front of the mirror, you hang out as the Maps guys do. You get together and you bounce things off each other and kind of critique each other in a positive way, and that really works. And then after a number of years, uh, things just come natural to you, and so you're kind of playing off the cuff, you might say, but it has been something that you've rehearsed in the past, and it's part of your repertoire.
It's like any performance because they're all a little different. So they all have to be kind of set up and be ready for each one because when you do a parade and a grand entrance, it's far different than going to a mall or a box store. You don't have the same thing. So you have to be ready and know what you're going to do. It's kind of like even just knowing what you're doing pre-rehearsing.
Yeah, and a home
Um,
visit, of course, is totally different than all those others
right.
mentioned because a home visit takes a completely different type of entrance. Uh, let's see, going back, Santa Tom put in to the first question, I believe anything can be fixed with duct tape and zip ties. Very true, Tom.
Love that duct tape. Thanks, MacGyver.
I just hope that if he wins the biker build off with Tuttle Senior, that he doesn't use duct tape and zip ties on that. That's for quick repairs. Uh, so Ray Bradshaw says he's doing his first at the Denton Holiday Lighting Festival this year. So again, Ray, be sure and jot down some notes as you go. If you don't, you may lose those thoughts, but then put it into a program, a format, and practice that. That way, you're well rehearsed when you come out to do that tree lighting, and it'll help you immensely.
Yeah, and also
Uh,
some cities have very big grand things. Like I know one of the cities I do, they have a mayor talks and does a big thing on stage, and then Santa Claus is coming to town, the choir singing, and the smoke comes out, and I duck underneath they make a big fireplace, like I'm coming out of the fireplace. So that's all rehearsed ahead of time. I didn't I mean I rehearsed earlier before anybody got there, but some places basically tell you what you've got to do for
True.
their grand opening. Some got the big light, the switch to light the tree or whatever it is. So uh, just but enough years, you just go for it. You go along. So um,
Learn what works and use it. And if it's a dud, you throw it away. Let's see. Ben Bellhorn says, I run it through my head, but the best laid plans never survive contact with the enemy. I mean, the kids. That's very true. Hello, Jose. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
but that's what's great about having some other thought process about going that then you can bob and weave. This doesn't work. I can go here real quick, and that's what's
Again,
kind of like because
how many
Murphy's
times you've
law.
heard
It'll always
Randy and I
happen.
mention plan A needs a plan B needs a plan C, and
Yep.
sometimes those three are not enough. So always have a backup plan in case one thing doesn't work. You can always switch gears real quick and move along and make things work in your favor instead of against you.
And Carl
Which
says,
is exactly what Charlie Johnson says: have a plan, but get ready to improvise.
"Yep,
Gary says all are different. Just play in by ear. That's true. And again, Gary, as long as you guys, you and I and Randy's been doing it, that's kind of what you come to after a few years. You kind of get your, as I said before, repertoire down. You know what you're going to do going in. There may be some subtle changes, as Randy mentioned, with the way that the organizer wants you to do things. But again, with experience, comes that being able to change on the fly. So. Let's see, who am I missing here? We got Charlie's have to improvise. Rex Ray says it's all possible. We have the group gathering outside, and Santa arrives in one of his many sleighs, such as my '63 red T-bird ragtop. Boy, Rex has got it going on with that ragtop. Let me tell you. Uh, Facebook user here. I'm not sure who this is again. I find a Santa you have to be really good at alibing. Okay, sure who that is. If I can find out who it is. Tony again. Comments are coming in a lot faster over here on Facebook than they are coming in StreamYard.
like Scott Parker saying here, you got to practice what you plan on doing, so then you can like um, bob and weave when something happens. I see Kimmy says she's got a great way of saying goodbye, blowing kisses. I don't know if Santa can do that, Kimmy, but Mrs. Claus certainly can do that on saying goodbye. Um, so that's some great ideas. And
Yes,
Carl,
I was just going to say that one comment about Carl's that I was getting Facebook user in our StreamYard. That is Tony Madeiras. I probably butchered that last name.
ad libbing.
Madeiras.
And that's exactly right. Whoever that is definitely you got to ad lib. I mean, that's
Mhm.
part of our. We do it every time a child comes up and asks us a question. Should we know our backstory? But we're ad libbing. We're just going for it. We're lying truthfully. Is it truthfully or with sincerity? I don't know. But
Yeah, we're being Santa.
we're being Santa.
Go ahead and catch Carl's. You started to catch it and I interrupted you, Randy. I'm
Oh, yeah, no
sorry.
problem. It's not always possible, but I like to walk through it. Yeah, that's really, if at all possible. Especially, I mean, the weirdest thing is, especially if you have some sleighs. I don't know if some people have sleighs on floats. It's nice to walk through, getting up and down off that sleigh, because there's been some sleighs I've gotten on, and the 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 little thing to put your foot on is about the size of a 3x5 card, and you don't have great peripheral vision back there to step down. And so that's great, Carl, if you can get to a place that you can go through a walkthrough to step up, step down, or the walkthrough with the mayor or whoever it might be to know your plan. Once the entrance a couple of seasons ago, I walked into a library, high school, band playing, and it's so nice. I mean, it helps you smile so good when you got a band playing. It's just, I'm the festive part of it. Great, Carl. I reached the crossroads and I did not know whether to go right or left. And well, that's the thing. And you've just got to follow. Where am I sitting? Where am I? What next room? But it's and that's where it's the just ad lib and then shake hands and high five and or fist pump, or I like to pull the old hat down below the children's eyes. They laugh and giggle, or I shake their hands and I pull their gloves off, until I get, oh, there's the high sign over there. I've got to go right, So it's just little things you play around with, but great, great, great.
Just make it fun.
Make it fun.
Santa Ut says, my exit to make sure I don't leave anyone out in my thank yous. That's true. Rex says, I've done a tree lighting arriving by Black Hawk helicopter and have arrived via parachute for the Army Ranger School. And he was telling us some of those stories. We were talking here in the past few weeks. And, you know, anytime you get involved in anything like that, it is so exciting and really just get your blood pumping and really a cool way that the children, the adults, everyone gets into those type of things. But that's pretty cool. Black Hawk helicopter and then parachuting in.
I only once was arrived in a city in a helicopter, a 2-seater helicopter, just once. That's probably the last time I'll do it again, but maybe it's different now, but that's when I was over 400 pounds. Well, it's a 2-seater. The gentleman goes, well, we take off on an angle. Well, because of the extra weight, we really took off on an angle. And there's no way when you're that size getting out of a door yay big, can you get out gracefully? So it's like I said, it would be great if we could have walked through it, but there is no way to walk through it. So you just do the best you can. And then you get down and then you get into character and hopefully they forgot your slow stepping out. But yeah, it is like Bob said, it's exciting to do that. But and you never know. I didn't know I was going to do that. They changed it like a day before. I was supposed to go in a fire truck or something. And they said, no, meet us down there. But that was great. We got some other ones from Sean Courts. Hi, Sean, how are you? I worked with, yeah, Sean works with a lot of different Santas. So that's a big thing there. We discussed the entrance ahead of time. See, that's, again, such a great thing to be able to take the time to discuss and have that extra helper there to lead you through or to be your guide.
Kimmy says, differently coming in, it depends on the audience, never the same. I have a special way to say goodbye. Mrs. Claus says goodbye by blowing kisses to all. You mentioned that earlier. Yeah, and Randy, we all like to do the heart. That's another good way. You can always throw the heart in there for Santa. Parker says, practice, practice, practice. I have hours of video to watch and look for things to improve on. Very true. Did you cover both of Sean's?
I just got one, the top Sean, and I only got about,
Okay.
yeah. We get some stories down, and then we are become on the same page because, like I said, she works with a lot of different Santas. The next one, going to the same school has helped when it comes to working together. That's for sure. You get the same class and idea. It's really amazing how much easier it is to works and helps the smoothness. Yeah, if you know a Santa and Mrs. Claus that have gone to the same Santa schools or whatever, I'm sure that's gotta help blend, or of course it will work together, period. So some fantastic ideas. Do a walkthrough. Bart says do a walkthrough at every large event. Yeah, and sometimes like I do the Motor City Casino here in Detroit every year at a kidney foundation, and same thing. You can do a walkthrough, but I couldn't do it the first year. Thank goodness the second year I know what to do. But you're just there. It's like, okay, you come in, you got your clothes all wrapped up because you got to go get dressed here, and they'll walk you down to here, and the casinos, things like that. Then it's like then you're followed by people, and then you do your thing. So it's kind of the last minute learning, but you gotta love it. That's why we're all here, because we love it, and we'll put up with those craziness because we love it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So the last comment coming in here is from Kat M. Hausen. Good to see you, Kat. Hadn't talked to you in a while, but I love her response. She says, "I love you." Sign in sign language. Absolutely. She also goes on to say goodbye. Could use the friend sign in sign language. This is true. Very good. All right. Well, fantastic, Randy. I think we got some great responses there. As always, thank you
Fantastic.
everyone for chiming in, giving us your thoughts. That's what we love about these something burger hot topic segment here is that we're all sharing, we're all bouncing ideas off each other and giving others that, and maybe just starting out in their portrayal as Santa or Mrs. Claus, some ideas, and that way they can pick and choose and set up their own thoughts and way of handling things. And that's why it's so valuable, because we're all passing along information. Okay, Randy, are you ready to let's move along and go to the santascloset.org trivia for today?
Sure am.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Santa's Closet is under new ownership. Let's welcome Santa Wade and Scarlett Kaufman of Tennessee, whom will continue the tradition of bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Don't forget to visit their sites at santascloset.org and support their efforts of bringing quality products to the community. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, Randy, another really cool question. And so let's get right to it. Go ahead and throw this question out there at
Cool.
everyone and see who can come up with this one.
Very fun question. Tennessee is the birthplace of three very popular snacks. What are they? There's three very popular snacks from Tennessee. They're the birthplace that started there in Tennessee. And pretty yummy.
This is one I didn't know any of the three answers.
I knew the
or
one, but the other two I didn't know.
I didn't know any of them, but pretty cool question.
Yeah, very
See if you
unique.
can
Very
name all
cool.
three of them. Is the birthplace of three very popular snacks, as Randy said. All right, we're going to give you guys time to kind of ponder over that and get the questions coming in. We're going to go ahead and do the exit video. All right, guys, this is a segment we call the Elfin Chatterbox News. Kind of topics that we want to talk about real quick. I'm going to turn it over to Randy. I know we've covered this week after week, but each week we get a few new folks coming in, and we just want to keep us up in front. So, Randy, go ahead and cover what you got going on there.
Yeah, we've got going. It's less than only a few weeks. Well, a month from today is the 1st. June 1st and 2nd is Christmas Performers Workshop with Santa True in Rothbury, Michigan. Again, Santa True is all about performing. It's not about learning how to sing Rudolph, and you might do the Rudolph reindeer Macarena, but that's another thing altogether. But it's a 2-day event there at Rothbury, Michigan, at the J&J Resort up in Rothbury, Michigan, the 1st and 2nd. Then the 3rd and 4th, we have a retreat up there, the Jingle Joy Retreat put on by MAPS. And it's just like a getaway weekend, just to fellowship and bond with your fellow brothers and sisters in red. So in that, we have some classes. There's indoor pool at the hotel. There's golfing. There's everything else. And maybe it won't be snowing enough here in Michigan in June. We'll be able to go out and golf. There's horseback riding. There's camping. We've got nights planned for movie theater outside and marshmallows and s'mores. And Santa True's going to tell some Santa stories. So we've got a great weekend. And that weekend is free except for your stay and food. But of course, Santa Christmas Performers Workshop is a paid event, but any great time. Of course, don't forget also a week after that, Santa True is also in June 10th and 12th is actually in Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you can't get up to Michigan, don't miss his Christmas Performers Workshop in Cincinnati, Ohio. Then, of course, you're way on the West Coast. I'll even say this. And I think Lahara, I think it's La Harbra. I'm not real good at my. Is that what it is?
La Habra.
Thank you, La Habra. Yeah, California is also Christmas Performers Workshop in August 12th and 13th. I mean, they're incredible performance-based school. So don't miss it if you want to learn how to be more outgoing and thing like that. That is definitely the way to go. I was watching his little video the other day about how loud they were getting back in Atlanta last year. They were bothering the class next to him and everything else. It was a pretty funny little video. But that's the first and second is in Rothbury, third and fourth in Rothbury for maps. So join us. And of course, man, you then can't forget School of Santa. 2 weeks this year. 2 weeks, 2 different weeks you guys can go. Now, the first week I heard is sold out. The 13th through the 16th, it's sold out. There's over 100 people going. But don't worry. The next week, there's still a few seats left, I hear. The 20th through the 23rd in Branson, Missouri. And of course, Spangle. We all know Spangle, man. He puts on a hoot of a time. The class is great. The entertainment is great. Of course, there's always fellowship and any time when you get together with your brothers and sisters in red. So what's great is you pay one fee, your hotel, your school, your food. It's all there included besides shows. I mean, you're going to have, don't miss it. It's a great time and some great classes. Guest speaker for those 2 weeks, two different classes is Santa Ed Taylor, which he doesn't really travel very much out of his area. So it's kind of going to be unique to listen to him one-on-one. I didn't see him in Denver. He went there. I saw last time. I think he's probably been out talking to anybody was probably Denver at the iBurbs convention. So don't miss it. Again, School of Santa. Don't miss. There's some still seats. Not many are openings for the second one. What was it? Probably 60 or 70 people there. 70 some. Bob, is that right for that week?
I think it's right at 70 on the second one. The first one had 108. He was going to go up to 110.
Oh, okay.
Now, as in past schools, something always comes up at the last minute. So there could be a cancellation or two for the first or the second if it happens to sell out. So if you do prefer the first weekend over the second and it's considered a sellout, don't forget to just go ahead and get your name on the holding list in case someone cancels, then you can be moved up and brought into that that first week or second week.
It's a heck of a time, guys. I mean, really is. Learning, fellowship, and fun. I mean, you're on a Santa vacation. I mean, it's just a connection of Santas. And Mrs. Clauses, of course. Excuse me.
And for all those who went to Gatlinburg, Gatlinburg is a destination. Pigeon Forge, all the museums, all the amusement rides, so many things to see. Great food. Well, Branson is the same way. It's got all those same values, and you've got the White River and all the things that are associated with the museums. There's just a ton of different types of museums there. Anyway, fantastic time. Hope to see everyone there. We're getting excited. Gonna be fun. Real quick, back to the trivia question. There's a lot of folks that have gotten 2 of the 3 that we were looking for. I'm not saying that these 3 were the only 3. There was others, but we chose 3. I see 2 of those mentioned. The third one has not been mentioned yet. Just think carnivals, state fairs, and a sugar rush. Carnival, state fair, and the sugar rush. And see if we can come up with that third one.
Real close.
All right. Let's move along here. I just want to bring this up if we can. Many of you know that Gordon Bailey passed, and we are having a memorial service for him June 10th in Honey Grove, Texas. Honey Grove is in the far northeastern corner of the state of Texas along the Red River Valley. And it's on US 82. If you're not familiar, US 82 runs from Lubbock westward in the state of Texas all the way across to New Boston, Texas, just before you get into Texarkana. And so US 82 is a popular west to east destination across there. And Honey Grove is located right off, about a mile off of US 82. You go south about 1 mile at the Honey Grove exit. Exit on the west side, exit on the east side of town. It's a very small town of about 1,700, and so really easy to find. We want to mention that we really, and I hate to stress this, but we really need some help with the financial side. Gordon was a gentleman that lived on very little, had very little income. He's done a great job of taking care of a lot of stuff in the last 6 months to a year to get himself in a better financial situation than where he was just before that. But we've put up Chrissy Kovic had put together a GoFundMe, and we're nowhere near the campaign goal. I think we're about 1/3 of the way through. Please consider helping, even if it's just a few dollars, because every penny counts for expenses. We want to be able to send him off with it. I mean, he gave so much to everyone, and we want to be able to give send him off with a good send off. We were up there yesterday and Thursday helping clean out his apartment, and went over to the church that we have reached out to where he worked as a volunteer. We have not gotten a confirmative back yet that they will let us use that facility. If not, there's something like 16 other churches in that little bitty town, which is crazy in itself to think that there are that many different congregations. But we'll find a place there in Honey Grove. But please, if you can, go over and contribute a dollar or two. I know it's the first of the month. Some folks get their checks at the first of the month. And again, if you can just give a dollar, it sure will help in taking care of his final expenses. And we did not get the apartment completely cleaned out. So I think we're probably going to end up having to pay a couple extra days this month also. So everything adds up. Everything adds up.
Yeah,
Okay.
just I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt, Bob. Yeah, just take a few minutes. Remember, during the holidays, like I said, Bob said, $1, $5. It's just going to help. It is costly to do any of that stuff. We know what Gordon has meant to the industry, and something you have learned came from Gordon. Far more than one thing, I'm sure, in this business. So just take a few moments. And it's, like I said, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to do the 50, 60, 100. I mean, sure, it'd be wonderful if you do, but you don't have to. I mean, and I know financially we all can't.
Right.
So we just are thankful and happy to whatever you can to, because it isn't, you don't do all that services afterwards, all the things that happen after you're gone. It costs, even though you're a Santa, it still costs. So we do. If you have some friends in the business also that used to know Gordon, send that out, and we'll be sending out the GoFundMe page again too. I had to do it again today.
Gordon openly gave to everyone. He never
Yeah.
turned down anyone. He would answer his phone at 3 a.m. in the morning and talk as long as you wanted to talk and pick his brain. He was always there. I've roomed with him at some events. He would sleep with his phone right there in his hand or right next to him, and it has gone off in the middle of the night. Folks on the West Coast don't realize when you're, 2 hours difference or 3 hours difference in time. And I mean, he never once asked for anything in return other than your friendship and kindness. And uh, once the memorial service is over with at the church, we will be going to Chris and Scott Kovic's house. They just live again just right there in the heart, right by the square in Honey Grove, and there will be a gathering there to share memories, tell stories, and food. We'll have food there for the after leaving the church. Okay,
Thank you.
let's move along. Let's go on into the Tuesday Night Live upcoming shows and our guests. And we've added a few new ones to the list this last week. I'm still working on others. I'm going to let Randy run through these real quick. Some of these we've already mentioned, so we won't spend a lot of time on those. But here is the rundown coming up for May.
Again, now May 2nd, tomorrow night already. Tomorrow night, May 2nd, that's great. Is Bruce Katowicz, again, Santa extraordinaire from Canada. He's, again, professor at the college there. Wait until he does. I mean, he's got some great things about helping our voice. And, of course, he's a teacher at C.W. Howard. So don't forget tomorrow night. May 2nd is Bruce. May 9th, Rhonda and Michael Landon. Um, Fancy Lee Creations. Wow, cool stuff. Don't That's going to be some. There you go, right there. They made the hats. They made the shirts right there on that side. Um, so they have a little connection here. I think it has something to do with Rex Ray. I think, but
Yes.
yeah, they're but don't miss Rhonda and Michael. They have some really cool special things they can put together and designs and stuff for Santas that, like, of course, custom work. So don't miss them on May 9th. May 9th. Fancy Lee. I like that name, Fancy Lee. I like that. Then on May 16th, again, we've been talking about him for a while, and every time there's his name, I'm going to be freaking out that night about David Saunders, about being a firefighter from back then, and of course being a professional Santa from 9/11, and being so of course an actor and everything else he does. So don't miss it. Just don't miss any of them. They're free. Remember, don't miss them, because what are you going to learn? So, and then May 23rd is Julia Cracky. Is that how you spell it? Is that
That's correct. Correct.
Wow. And state of the art. Of course, she was down down there with her cooling vest. They're incredible vests. I mean, that's just, they don't ride up like most of them do. She haven't got this extra body up here that is uncomfortable. So she's going to talk about how she invented them, and of course she's going to have deals on them and everything. I mean, so don't miss it, guys. I mean, how many guys sure would be nice to have, especially when you're wearing a suit, the parade robe, and inside it's like, oh man, they're necessity. They're necessity. So don't miss May 23rd. Then we go already at the end of the month, May 30th. Jackie Chamberlain, of course, simply Mrs. Claus, but never is simply Mrs. Claus. Never, but it is kind of a cute way of putting it. Professional, of course, Mrs. Claus, an entertainer, and I think everybody will get a lot of fun, and definitely, it doesn't matter if you're a Santa or Mrs. Claus, you're going to learn. And especially, like I said, it's great then for us that don't have Mrs. Claus, how much then we want to figure out how to work with one because of what she's done. So don't miss May 30th. Jackie Chamberlain. I think Jackie's here. Are you here, Jackie? I thought I saw you earlier.
She was with us. I don't know if she's still with us or not.
Okay. And then, of course, we're already in what we've got on the list. We're already then in Branson. We're going to do Tuesday night and Thursday night special events there in Branson. For the first and second week, of course, the 13th through the 16th, and again, the 20th through the 23rd. Those 2 weeks, there's going to be special things going on Tuesday and Thursday night live, like Bob's got on his hat, and right there, Tuesday night live. Going to be live shows from there, of course, just like they did at Santa Family Reunion. A lot of fun, a lot of interaction. Then yes. We've got a little lull of what we're going to talk about. We've got plenty of guys in between there, but August 22nd is Scott Parker. Scott, thank you for being such a loyal guy here all the time, seeing us and contributing. We really appreciate it. You can hear what he's done, because he's done a cool belt buckle, if I remember too, Bob. Isn't that? So that was something that was fantastic to look at. That was like a cool thing. So don't forget, that goes in August. And of course, we've got plenty of things in between. And of course, the best thing is, we all know that word, free. That's the best word, the best favorite F word in the world. So don't miss it. Tuesday night live, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. What it would be, 4 o'clock Pacific? Yeah, 4 o'clock Pacific. But we've got StreamYard, Facebook, and YouTube. And the best thing is you're going to watch it on a full screen. That is so cool. It's like so cool. I'll put my feet up tomorrow night, and I'll just sit back and listen to Bruce. Especially, I've got that surround sound thing on this new TV. Man, I'll hear him talk. And oh, man, it'll be so cool. Sorry, guys. I'm getting off track here. I apologize. It is so much fun to watch on there. So don't miss it. Don't miss Tuesday Night Live. I mean, like I said, you're going to laugh. You're going to learn. Thank everybody that started it. You guys, Bob, and everybody that started it. Man, you guys, thank you for getting it all going for all of us. Thank you.
We're having fun. That's what matters. And, we're sharing. And that's what Set Bob's has always been about. And, where my background is as far as teaching and sharing. I want to say thank you, Ben Bellhorn, for throwing up that GoFundMe link to the Gordon Bailey. And again, folks, if we happen to meet our goal or we get more than what we will need, the proceeds will go to charity. We haven't chosen a charity yet, but it may be something in the lines of Heart Association or something like that. Some of the things that Gordon had experienced cancer, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We just need to take care of his final expenses first. Real quick, guys, we do not have the 3 answers put together yet for the trivia question. I didn't realize it was going to be that hard. I thought this was going to be a really easy one, but sometimes maybe the easy ones are the hard ones. Okay, so there's 2 of them have been mentioned over and over and over again. The one that we're looking for, I'm going to give another clue. We mentioned Sugar Rush, State Fairs, and Carnivals.
That one, but none of them have got all 3 together.
Okay, somebody did get the one I was talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so it has been mentioned according to Angela, but we have not put all 3 of them together. Again, the State Fair, the Sugar Rush, the other one, and the other one are, as Randy said, sweet treats. Are all 3 sweet treats. I mean, but see
One
if
gives you
everybody
a real kick in the where. It's really, boy, that
Yeah.
makes you smile. Those one of those, you know.
See,
Someone's close.
Charlie's close. He is.
There's
I like
one-
Charlie's earlier. I think he said moonshine, moonshine, and moonshine. I think that's what you said earlier,
I saw
Charlie.
that too. That was good.
And I'm
Yes,
sure you're right, Charlie. I'm sure you are.
Charlie's got 2 of the 3. We'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag on the 2 of the 3 that we were looking for. Cotton candy was a sweet treat that gives you the sugar rush from Carnivals, and the other one, moon pies. Everyone loves moon pies. I mean, absolutely. Now we're looking for the other one, and it has been mentioned. It was one of the first ones mentioned at the top. And again, Rex has mentioned it there. Somebody put those 3 together, and you get a key. Yeah.
Bart Apple Jacks is from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Kellogg's, I think, is what made those, not Tennessee. So
Rex, you got 2 of them, brother. You're still missing that one. You had the other one up there and the other one.
so close, but no Cupid owl over like we're talking about state fairs. No Cupid owl. Do they still make Cupid owls? They still make those Cupid owls? I don't think they make it. The little pointy hair in the top and that little tiny naked thing. I don't think they make those little dolls, Cupid dolls, anymore.
And like I
Oh,
said,
right.
when I came together with this trivia question, I could have listed all 6, 7, 8, 10 things that were exclusive to Tennessee. I just chose the 3 I thought would probably be the ones that everyone would guess on, and we still don't have all 3 of them in order. They're bouncing all around here.
So
Oh,
close.
my goodness. Gary, that's close. No, okay, let's just go ahead and rule out Little Debbie's. Yes, Little Debbie's is one, but not the one we were looking for.
And it's not
I'll give you
moonshine either.
one last clue. It is green in appearance, and it's liquid.
Ta-da!
There you go. Rex got it. Of course, Rex is probably going to say pass it along to the next person. So anyone who can get it in there next. Oh goodness! All right, we'll work on that. Let's move along here. I think we've had lots of fun with that one today. You know, I never know how these trivia questions are going to turn out. You know, as far as audience participation, but hey, that was fun. All right, so while they work on getting those in there, Rex's answer is correct, but I knowing him, he's probably going to say pass it along to someone else,
Kid.
and so it looks like is Gary. No, it looks like Joe, maybe.
No, nobody.
I got Joe Steffen here.
Yeah, somebody Facebook user says on here that says
Yes,
there's got
Joe.
all
It's
three of
just
the right one.
Joe Steffen. Yeah.
Community.
Is Joe eligible? He's not in timeout, is he?
Let me look here. No, he's eligible.
Okay, well, Joe Steffen, I believe, is going to be the winner. We'll let Angela determine that for sure. And we're going to go ahead at this point. And hey, you know, that was kind of a magical moment, wasn't it? Kind of was. Let's go ahead and get into that magical moment. Here we go.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Magical Moments. I just can't believe it's only 237 days till Christmas. That's crazy, 237 days. But what I want to talk to you about today is something that I kind of showed you a few weeks ago about inflatable gifts or inflatable toys. But this is something that you also can do, and you can do this with any magic bag you want to, or you don't even have to. Is you can show a bag empty, just empty. Then you can have a child reach down in there, and they reach down in and they pull out. I'm not doing the big performance. They pull out little pieces of beads. And you could, Mrs. Claus could even leave those in her purse instead of doing a magic trick with them. But what I really want to show you guys is what you can do with a little bead. And this is great for Mrs. Claus. And what you can do is you take those beads and we'll twist them. You make them into a little puppy. They become a little tiny puppy. If I can get them up with the picture here. If I can do that. Becomes a little tiny puppy. So you actually can do a trick. Even this. Spangle sells these door boxes. Empty. Do a little magic. And you open it up. And of course you can make maybe you can make it appear. Maybe you can make it appear. Spangle. I didn't put any in there. That's the problem. They're over here. Never mind. Straight. We'll cut that out of the thing, won't we, Bob? Yeah. What I really want to show you is how to make these and what they actually are. You go to your local dollar store and you buy the beads, the necklaces. Now they're usually $5 for $1 or $1.25, and you can cut and you can get 5 strands of 5 little beads out of each necklace. Now it's very simple. Hopefully I can do it on camera. You need 16 little beads. You need a little nose. Then you need to turn the head. And then you can make, I don't know if I can really get, my fingers are in the way, but you just twist it and you can make a little head out of the deal. Then, of course, you need the body. So you leave 1 for the body. Then you use 4 more and you fold them in half. Kind of hard with my big fingers, but it's a wonderful thing for Mrs. Claus to do. Then you have a nose, you have the ears, the nose, the neck, and the front legs, kind of like you're making a balloon, a twisted balloon. Then you do 1 more, and then 4 little guys in the back there. Then you have 4 more, so you have this cute little puppy to pass out. So it's a small little toy to do assembly, but they're inexpensive. Like I said, you can get 5 necklaces for like $1. You get 5 at a thing, so they cost about 5 cents a piece. And it's something you can magically do if you want to appear. You can put them in just a regular Santa bag, or you can do a fancy bag, or like I did with the put them in a stocking. Or Mrs. Claus can just reach into her purse and pull out a little change purse full of these and make them. But it's a great little gift for the children. And it's also even something you can do together. You can walk through it with the children especially at a home visit. But they're a lot of fun because especially then if you buy, where'd they go? You can get, of course, red and green. I have all colors because I just did them at, I have purple and all that because I did them at the Michigan Panthers game yesterday. I produced some of these and twisted them and made them at the football game as a gift to the children. So that's why I have some purple. But red and green make great, but they're inexpensive things to give away, and they're just cute. And then they have this neat little puppy, and you tell them to put them underneath your pillow. Then they go to him, now put this underneath your pillow tonight. You know what's going to be there tomorrow morning? You know what's going to be underneath your pillow tomorrow morning? The puppy. That's all. Just the puppy. Not a real one, of course. Not a real one. But they're a cute little gift and a cute little thing to interact with your children. But and again, another thing great for Mrs. Claus to do. Thank you. I hope you could see it a little bit with my big fingers in the way. But if not, I can put a little thing on the website, a little step-by-step walkthrough about how to do them. And I'll be teaching them at the J&J, and I'll also be teaching them at the Red Suit Conclave. Thanks again, guys. Have a magical day. See you later.
That is super cool. I guess if you got short, nubby fingers, it's kind of would be a little bit harder to do. But
You can twist them, and you just can't see what you're doing as much. That's the problem. They're very easy to do because they lock on themselves. The little pieces, the little beads lock because they kind of lock and stay there. But it's hard to show when your fingers are in the way. But
yeah, very cool.
it's a great little gift, and you can turn it into a magic trick if you want, or just a gift, and just like decorating cookies. You're not decorating cookies. You're actually making an ornament. Then you can take, if you want to, you carry those little metal hooks, and they can be an ornament for their tree. So a lot of things to do. Thank you.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like that. Moesha says she likes it too. So, or loves it actually. All right. Great job, Randy. As always, let's go ahead and move along to Santa's flight checklist next. All right, Santa's flight checklist. As always, doing your homework up front and making sure you are well prepared. Today's Santa's flight checklist, let's talk about scheduling. Scheduling is important for all of us as entertainers. As the Santa season is still over 6 months away, I think most of us have started accepting bookings, long before now. A lot of folks start, hey, at the events at Christmas time, folks say, hey, I want to go ahead and book you for next year. It's important to use a tracking app or calendar, as we spoke about in past segments, to ensure you have a record of those booking times and appointments, but not everyone is using those apps. Some folks do use pencil and paper. Some folks have different methods. Remember, though, to be sure and not overbook or book those events too close together and allow time for ample travel, including extra time in case your last gig runs over. I mean, that happens a lot. You may be watching your clock, or you may have Mrs. Claus up with you that says, Santa, we've got to move along, or, you have your trigger word or whatever. But just remember to always set up a little extra time. Don't crowd yourself. Don't make it where you have to rush out and rush straight to the next event. Take a moment to unwind from that event and get to your next event. You got to make sure you got ample travel time. And, you can never tell if there's going to be a wreck, traffic backups for whatever reason. But just make sure that you always allow for traffic woes and those sort of things. If you're scheduling a full day of events that has multiple travels involved, don't forget to build in a little elf room break, and maybe a bite to eat. Something that we all need is to be sure that we, guard our nutrition, keep our energy up, and make sure that you, like I say, go to the little elf room. Good clock management can ensure your arrival unfrazzled and safe, in good condition, and ready to perform at your best. So that's the objective. Is always make sure that you have plenty of time. For some guys, again, as I was speaking, may do pencil and paper or whatever. Just if you're not using an app, print out your schedule for travel and make sure that you check off and make sure Santa's flight checklist is about checking and making sure that you're prepared. And that's today's Santa flight checklist.
Definitely so well. I mean, everything right on the money. I mean, because you never know, especially here in Michigan, we don't know if we're going to have bad weather.
Right.
And so it could take you 15 minutes, half hour longer. And how can somebody in the northern part of the states say Santa can't make it to a gig or he's late because of snow? It just doesn't work because Santa should get everywhere because of snow. So you have to have that time between. Of course, we all need, like Bob said, nutrition, all that. And we don't want to also, like Bob especially said at the beginning, we don't want to cut too short in case it runs a little long, because those last few children are just as important as the first two. And you don't want to say, sorry, I got a low because I've got 20 minutes to get to the next gig. Now, I know we all have just so many Saturdays during the holiday time. We want to, fulfill as much as we can, but boy, nothing worse than saying I got to leave and the poor child didn't get to see Santa or something, or you rushed them. So, but yeah, Bob, right on the money, everything, man. That's just
Better to have enough time than not enough time when it comes to scheduling and your clock management. Different guys use different methods. Some guys may have a phone app that rings and they say, what, Bernard, what? Sorry, I've got to go. Bernard just reminded me I have an appointment to make, or different scenarios that you can build into your portrayal that will help get you out of a situation. But as Randy mentioned, that last child is just as important as the first child. You will give every child the ample attention that they need, and some children take more than others. You never know. So build in extra time in each one of your visits, and make sure you build enough time in case something happens along the way. And again, you never know when you're going to have to visit the little elf's room and or grab a bite to eat. So I know we try to all cram as much in. As Randy said, there's only X amount of good days to work on the weekends, which is your most popular time to fill a full schedule from morning to afternoon and beyond. But anyway, just
that's
just be well prepared.
and I do both what Bob said. I actually, of course, have it on my phone. I have an app on my computer that I do it. To be honest with you, I actually have a calendar that I tack up on the door, so I can look at it at a glance my whole month. I do it for well, I started in May because I have a busy May, June, July, August for Magic, but I just then I can glance. Okay, so but my same thing. My phone reminds me how many times in before what's going on, but I I CYA whatever way I can so you don't miss something also or double book or and leave enough time. So but yeah, we also like Bob said we have to get time to eat. Little girls room break, um, little elf room break. We have to and like I said, we want to keep that nutrition and protein up. Otherwise, we're not going to be as jovial and jolly and smiling for that last child after our 8th hour as we are for the first.
Yeah.
And that is our responsibility to be just as happy our 8th, 10th, 12th hour, whatever it might be. But that child, they're just as important as the first one of the day. So we have to, like Bob said, exactly fill in time to make sure that we can regroup for a few minutes. And like I said, he also said not being stressed on the way because, oh man, if you're rushing, I got to get there, you don't want to get a ticket. You don't want to get in an accident. You don't want to, so then besides just the stress of it all. So I know we want to work as much as we can, but what Bob said,
Yeah.
and it's hard to follow the great rules you had, Bob. I mean, they're not even rules; they're like common sense. It's hard to follow them, but it makes everything much better.
Yeah, and you get into a situation where you get frazzled, and then you're not on your A game when you get to where you're going. Frustrated, you might not even have a smile when you start through the door. Of course, I think most of us can turn it on, turn it off, but again, unfrazzled, arrive safe and in good condition, and ready to perform at your best. All right, we got any questions today about anything that we covered? Any questions about future guests? Anything? I mean, throw it at us now if you've got it. I just want to say thank you again to everyone for
Yeah.
participating and coming in on the show today. We love doing these shows. We look forward to them. It's amazing how quick the week goes by, though. I mean, it seems like we barely get through with Monday and Tuesday, and it's time to do it again. And uh, but we love sharing, we love teaching, we love giving our best to everyone.
All right, the
It's just
trivia
again.
winner.
Oh yeah, we got to
Yes.
give a trivia winner. What
Yep.
did you come up with, Angela?
Joe Steffen said he already had the key to pass it on to the next one, and that would be Gary Lindner.
All right, Gary. If Gary does not have a key and he wants the key, then it's been passed on to you, Gary. Just tell us yay or nay in the comments, and
And again, that comes from it's donated by Clausnet, but it also is shipped through Spangle. So just to let you
that's
know.
right. So I think we've got this week's key left. I've got to get with Wade and Scarlett and let them know that we're totally out and we need to move forward from there. Also, they will be future guests. We've already spoke to Scarlett about coming on, her and Wade, and I just don't have a date penciled in for them yet. Real quick,
Quick,
Carl
Stan.
White.
I
I've got
know.
to get with Carl and get him penciled in. He's a future guest. We mentioned that we are trying to bring back Derek Dugan, a voice that he would like to come on again. Mitch Allen on again. We want to bring Lauren Jensen back in. I know he's been on once this year, but and was a great show, a long show. But Lauren has some really cool stories that he was sharing with Rex Ray and I in Gatlinburg, and we think that it would do everyone great justice to bring Lauren back on and do a little bit different kind of show with him than what we had before, and be able to share some of those really cool stories he has.
Of course, then Gina Bacon will be on again, I'm sure, and so it's gonna be filled up every Tuesday night.
Yep.
Just filled with great talent, great people, and that's the
Gary, I'm not sure if I still have your address. I probably do, but if you don't mind throwing it in a PM at me or Angela Mack, and that way we can get that over to Spangle, and or send it to Spangle. That's fine too. But either way, I've got to and again, real quick, the last 2 weeks, us being in Gatlinburg, Spangle has not shipped the last 2 weeks. So we will get all that passed over to him today. Make sure that he gets that stuff out the next day or two. So if you have not received your key yet, that's because Spangle's been out of town and just now getting back into the office and getting back in the swing of things. All right, Randy, I want to thank you so much, brother. As always, the perfect co-host. Gosh, I enjoy doing these shows with you so much. Our audience is the best in the world. We couldn't do this without you. We thank you
really
so much for your participation and sending all the love that you do. I mean, I get blown away by some of the comments, folks, the compliments that they give. Just want you to know that Randy and I are very appreciative, very humble, as well as Scott Seriton, Angela Mack, Jessica Rosa, and Spangle, of course, from the Tuesday Night Live show crew. Tomorrow night, we will have Scott Seriton along with Spangle, along with Jessica. And of course, our guest tomorrow night is Bruce J.G. Kotovich. The W is pronounced as a V, I believe, is what he told me before. Got a great script set up for him, and can't wait to get that show done. See you tomorrow night, right back here on Monday. Thank you, Randy.
bye guys. Stay safe. Bye. Thank you. You guys are wonderful.